Hi everyone, I just thought I'd put this video clip together for you today because a few people have asked me all about what I am doing to make money, which is a really good question. So I'm probably in a slightly different situation to lots of people in that because I already worked part-time rather than full-time. This gave me a little bit more leeway in order to develop some of those side hustles into other things. And also, it's been interesting times recently with my previous place of work because some of you already know my story, but I have been signed off for work-related stress for a period of time, which also, because it was an environmental stress and not me that needed the time off for myself, my own well-being in a way, that meant that I was in a place where I could actually pursue looking at other ways of making my money once I've made that decision not to return. So I can't say too much about that because I've signed a bit of paper that says I'm not allowed to talk about it, but no doubt that you've gleaned a few bits and pieces about my story so far, and one-to-one I'm happy to go into a bit more detail. But either way, so I have provided you with a snapshot of how I have made some money so far and what I'm intending to do to make a little bit more money so that I can keep myself in coffee and shoes mainly, and of course feet as well, feet for children, because that's quite important. So I'll just pause this while I just share my screen with you. Okay, so what I like to say to people is that I have lots of fingers in lots of pies, which is something that quite amuses people in America sometimes, because I'm not sure that you have the same in the US. So fingers in pies, very British saying for having your fingers in lots of different areas and making pockets of money, really, where you can. So thinking about changing your lifestyle, consider building up several smaller things that will then turn into an income. So first of all, I have this lovely picture of a candle in the corner because it's one of those things that if you think that you can change your life by leaving education and selling candles, just as an example, then you're not going to make much money in that. I mean, if it's an established business, of course you will, like Yankee Candles clearly do quite well, but it's just one of those things where you initially need to have one of those things that's going to get you enough money to live. That is not to say that you can start selling candles and then build that up gradually. So you might need to think about a few different things to start with when you get going. So the first thing that I did was take on some admin work for a friend. So because I had nothing coming in on I had no work to do on my 2 days, but I didn't have any teaching commitments. So I was able to do some admin work, and of course I was able to do this in the evening as well. So I'd say do about 4 hours a month of this particular admin work for this person. So that pays me a little bit of money to start with. So that started me off. And I also trained over lockdown in Reiki and Tarot. So that's another little avenue that I'm pursuing at the moment. And tarot, of course, I can do online. So I've been doing sort of some evening Zoom tarot readings for people. And also the Reiki, I've got a Reiki room currently being built in my garage. So not quite finished yet because the builders haven't quite got there. But once that is done, I will be able to get myself a Reiki table and start offering sessions. I'm right opposite school, so I'm hoping to get some of those school parents in after the school drop-off. So that's another thing that I'm hoping will bring me in, say, at least £200-ish a month. Okay, so another thing is I was very lucky to get a publishing deal for 2 books before Christmas. So although I've got no initial money and no advance for writing those, eventually once those are out, I've got 2 on the way, one on Senkoing and one on social and emotional health in the early years, just come off the back of my blog really. And once those are out, I'm hoping for some passive income to come in from that. I don't know how much yet, because obviously the publisher takes most of the money, but there should be something for me, which will just hopefully be a steady small income over the year. So I'm SENCO, and I'm intending to do some special needs consultancy. So at the moment I've been offering, while I've been in work still effectively on my spare days off, been offering sort of half-an-hour phone consultations with parents who are not happy with provision. I've offered locally some visits into schools to observe children and give some objective ideas, really. And I've offered all that for free, because when you give out a few things for free, you know, they come back to you, and it's word of mouth and those testimonials that you get as a result of that. So that's another area I'm looking into. And quite a big pie for me that is currently developing, and you guys are a part of, is my wellbeing consultancy. So whereas the group is going to be free forever, and everything you're getting in the group will always be free, and those monthly meets will also be free. It's kind of a funnel situation, you know. It's a transparent process in that you get lots of people in your Facebook group, and then those people funnel into something that they end up paying for, basically, which in this case is going to be a subscription based area on my website, with a lot more life coaching stuff and a lot more content, and a lot more sort of meetings as well, which are a little bit more coachy rather than chatty, I guess. So that's where I'm aiming for that, and you've probably seen a little message pop up on your phone requests or requests for messages from me about that as well. So that's all in the pipeline, not moving as quickly as I'd hoped it had, but all going in the right direction. So once that's underway, I'm also hoping to get into schools and offer a little bit more in terms of wellbeing questionnaires, and also thinking about how schools can actually improve their wellbeing from the core. So that's my eventual aim. Not a lot of money has come from that at the moment, because that's all in the pipeline, but that's a lot of preparation while I've been, you know, still employed. A lot of preparation's gone into that for the launch, so watch this space on that one. So also on the back of that as well, teacher coaching with my life coaching qualification and my experiences in mentoring over the years, I've been able to offer developmental coaching one-to-one to teachers who are, you know, looking to either improve themselves and their development in their current setting, or wondering where to go next and need some direction. So I've been able to offer teacher coaching. Of course, the world of Zoom has meant that it's really opened things up for me a bit more. So my biggest pie at the moment is my editing and copywriting job, which I got randomly, and that has come out of my blogging for Teacher Toolkit. I was chatting to Ross, asking him a couple of questions about some ideas for my blog, and he was like, "Do you want a job?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that would be good." So I've been doing a few hours a week at the moment, which is building up to like 2 days a week from June. So that will be a big chunk of my money. So once I've got that stable income of that big chunk of money, that means that anything else on the side is going to be a bonus. So once you start looking at those areas, then it's really interesting what comes out. And I would really recommend that you get yourself on LinkedIn if you haven't already, if you're looking for other avenues, because it's interesting how many different jobs that you probably haven't thought of in the education area are actually advertised on there. And of course, with all the Zoom, then you don't need to be near the place. So Ross actually lives in Yorkshire, so because it can all be done remotely, then that doesn't really affect where you live. So that's really helpful as well. So that'd be my biggest chunk of money. And then that means I can not worry about money and sleep at night, and all the other stuff is going to hopefully just fall into place magically. Also have a couple of smaller pies which are not quite baked yet. I've got some respite fostering which I'm planning to do. So something that's been at the back of my mind for a number of years now, that I've never had the capacity to be able to offer, because obviously when you're a teacher, the thought of doing anything at the weekend involving other people's children is not your idea of a good time. But now I've shifted my work-life balance, I've got a little bit more leeway in order to think about how that fostering can really come about. So I'm really keen to offer that sort of one weekend a month I'm signing up for respite for children with disabilities. So I've got a spare room, so that's really helpful. And I think also it'd be really nice for my children to be part of that and involved in supporting other children as well. So that's in the process of being assessed at the moment. And although I'm not interested in the money, particularly for that side of things, it will bring in a small income, which adds on to the money overall. And lastly, I've got a children's book coming as well. And although it's going to be a Kickstarter, so it's not something that will initially make money. Initially, I need to put money into it in order to get the money back. But I'm hopeful that I will at least break even with my Kickstarter fund. And then again, with the passive income side of things, I'm hoping for a small passive income from that. And if it all goes well, then hopefully some more on the back of that as well. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different things that I've been able to start off in order to make money, enough money to live. So my projection is in 3 months that I will have made more money through less work than I would have done in education. And I think also the fact that I'm working for myself and everything is driven by me and I can make all the decisions, and I'm not doing a piece of work for somebody else who may or may not like it, it actually makes it a lot more enjoyable. And of course, I don't have like costs of childcare, I don't have as much fuel, so there's lots of things in my income and expenditure that have gone down as well. So in order to check yours out, your income and expenditure, have a look in the files on the page in the group, because that has a file all about mapping your income and expenditure from your previous bank statements. And then you can also think about those things that you don't need anymore. So I need to remember to cancel my union fees, for example, because I might be needing them. And whereas there might be something on I hear a lot of people are leaving Netflix at the moment. That's a popular one that people are thinking, well, maybe I can do without that for a few months. I don't know if I'll need my Twinkle subscription again, so I will probably get rid of that for a little bit of time as well. Apart from that, I mean, the bottom line is if you're a teacher, I didn't really want to go into tutoring, but you can go into tutoring quite easily because a lot of it's done by Zoom now. And even if your main subject, practical secondary, isn't English or maths or science, it might be that you can go into doing it at primary level because the subject knowledge is not as great. And I mean, there's so many resources online to support you. If you need ideas of where to find the resources to do the teaching from, I mean, it is all there online. So if you've got a teaching qualification, there's no reason why you can't tutor in English and maths at a lower level, because actually you'll find it's the most important thing is your rapport with the children, isn't it? Not the actual subject knowledge. So if you have a good rapport with the children, then everything else will follow because the subject knowledge is done for you with all the resources you can get online. And of course, at primary, it's not too difficult to get up to speed with what you need. Okay. So I'm hopeful that that has been helpful to you today. Please PM me if you've got any questions about anything or if anything interests you that you want to find out more about. Also, if you're somebody that's thinking about going into self-employment or getting a franchise and you want help with your Facebook groups, setting those up, for example, I might be able to put a little group together of just a few people to find out a little bit more about how to build your group, or I could do some more videos like this of how to build a Facebook group, because now I've built a few. It's interesting in what works and what doesn't work. Okay. So thank you for listening and hope that was helpful, and no doubt I'll see you on the group soon.